now. Okay, this is possibly Zach coming to you after the fact. I'm looking at what was our third attempt for getting the Aquatic synergy maxed out, you know, level 8 Aquatic synergy a win. And like I said, this is my third attempt. I like Aquatic synergy. I think it's pretty fun to play. I really enjoy getting Aquatic 8 and getting the Pikachu out there and doing damage. There's some good overlaps. I really like having Dragon and Water available because then you do have Gyarados. You have what's it called? You have the Seedra line, and then you have Skrelp, the Skrelp line, which is Dragon once you get it as a Dragalge, and so that's not even Aquatic anymore. But because it's Dragon, Water, it's something you can slot onto the team pretty easily, especially if you get Gumi and Dratini, which are actually Dragon Aquatic. Actually, none of the ones I mentioned earlier are Dragon Aquatic. They're just Water Aquatic, but they're still great to add onto the team because, you want to get a lot of water synergy if you can, because of the overlap you have with other mons like Manaphy, Volcanion, which can be pretty good carries. I really like Volcanion's ability cast. It just has a lot of damage output. I do like, what's its name? Dracovish. I just like that mon in general, but I like being able to have another Dragon Aquatic on the board, which is also always useful when you're trying to spread out your synergies. But let's focus on this game. Starting out, we're trying to get some Dragon units and Water units. Fishing early, I really tried to force that because I want to be able to get Gyarados onto the team, just so I'm able to have that Dragon Water in the team. I'm not going to take the Gimme Gold coin here because I want to be able to itemize as effectively as possible, so I'm going to take this boon. I really want to get Soldew. I don't remember exactly what I did with that. I did take it though, putting it on the Poliwhirl early. I think my idea was that I wanted to just get an early win streak so that I'm safe when trying to fish. And we'll see how that works out for us. Just holding on to 10 gold at the moment. I think I was debating buying another level up, but obviously it didn't matter because we're playing a pretty weak normal team for our first PvP. Also, there was another player that disconnected, which is, good when we're trying to go for the challenge, trying to win, but it's not as fun to play in 7-player lobbies. And we do get the Dragalge ad pick. I think I was debating going for the stone so that I could potentially get a water stone, but I do take the Skrelp, which I think pays off much more than a water stone, considering Skrelp gets you the Dragon synergy once you evolve it. And there's also the Tentacool ad pick, which is good for, getting even more of that overlap. So I'm just trying to look out for what overlaps I can prioritize. No Horsea yet on the team, So we could potentially play dragon sooner or later, but just not yet. And a pretty strong team as well at this point. I think the Prinplup and the Wartortle I got those just through fishing. I don't have any Magikarps at all yet. So even though I don't have Magikarps, I do get the benefit of having a strong board at this point. Pretty easily beating the bug team. They did have a Charmeleon and a Sliggoo. So it looks like they're trying to play for Dragon, but still not a match for us. And did we actually lose a round? Yeah, I guess we did lose a round to Ilk. Must not have been paying attention. I'm not sure how we lost that round. And easily going to take out the baby player as well. We finally get our first Magikarp, and then we have another spoon to go for choice specs if I really want to. Yep, just really hammering in the ability power on this team. Even going to swap out the Skrelp for now to get two Poliwhirls, which I think is a good choice. We're at Water 3 anyway. The Skrelp has a great ability, but having two Poliwhirls makes the entire board 2-star units. So this team right here, which is, I think, Fighting Grass, it's not really going to stand a chance to us. Stand a chance? Yeah, that's the phrase. They aren't going to stand a chance against us. Yeah. Definitely really good at English, but we're also really definitely good at is this game. Yep. Stage 9 with a pretty good team. We're top of the leaderboard right now. It looks like the Ilk guy lost another round before stage 10, so we're going to go into the unique portal in first place. Only 2 Magikarps. It's not terrible. We're a fifth of the way to a Gyarados. So at this rate, we should be there sooner or later. Plus we have a Ditto in the shop. So that's pretty much 3 Magikarp at this point. And there's only one Aquatic portal, which we're actually lucky to get, because what I've been trying to do is making sure that I have my main synergy that I actually want to play. Looking at it so far, you wouldn't be able to tell that I'm actually trying to play for Aquatic. And then I rolled past the a Horsey earlier in the shop. But I do get the Dracovish, which is really nice. I guess I'm going to put the Sticky Barb on it, which it's a good item, don't get me wrong. Definitely a good frontline item, but it's a bit, I don't think it's the best item for Dracovish. I think you really want to try and prioritize getting some attack power on the unit, or at least, even if not attack power, you want some speed to get the maximum use of its ability. So probably punching gloves the best, just so you have, both sides of the coin. Both. Is that a phrase that you would use in that context? But either way, you know, getting some speed to maximize the return on the ability, which scales with speed, plus the attack, which is just gonna be better off with the speed investment you're putting in for the scaling, the ability scaling. I do take the magnet though, and then I'm actually using the dittos on Dragalge, which Dragalge is great to have because now I'm playing Dragon, and then meaning to put all the ability power items onto it. Which I think is a decent strategy. Considering I'm going to be pulling a lot of casts out of the pocket with water synergy, just maximizing the ability power is a good option. I'm not sure what I want to go for here. I do get the charcoal, so that is a punching glove if I want to put it onto the Dracovish. And then Gumi here is going to get us to Aquatic 4. And I'm thinking about the punching glove. Do I go with it? I do. And then, so itemized Dracovish and Dragalge should be pretty good carries at this point, at this stage. I wonder if I hold on to the Dragalge. I think I might sell it for my legendary. Not quite sure if that's what I do though. We'll see. A lot of damage coming out from that, the sludge wave. The first one at least. Dracovish still pulling its weight. Obviously a lot of damage coming out from both of my itemized units. Plus Poliwhirl. 100 damage, nothing to scoff at. Probably could have played for the Poliwrath or Politoad. But I did elect to sell it, which I think is the better play. Being able to put those ability power items onto Dragalge. Yeah. And I contemplated selling the Lotad. Not sure why I emptied the shop. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the Nidoran in, because I'm already at 2 poison with Dragon. So I think I'm just gonna slot the Nidoran in to have poison for now, and really get the most out of Dragalge until I can play for some more aquatic or water units. And I don't even have to put in the Nidoran because I get a Marini, and so I'm keeping the water synergy at 5, while also being able to play with poison. And going for the level ups, which I think is definitely worth doing now. Since I'm already in first place, I want to be able to get my levels up now so that I can be able to get to Aquatic 8 plus probably Dragon 5 if I can, play things right. Depending on what my legendary is, of course. I want to be able to have Aquatic 8, of course, but I think I can do that with 7 units, considering I have Gumi and Dracovish, which count for 4 aquatic units by themselves, as long as I have Dragon. And then just try to maximize the side synergies once I'm level 9. Putting the poly whirl on the front line, I think my idea there was just to try and put as much space between their team and my Dragalge, which seems to have gone the way I wanted it to. I think having the polywhirl on the backline would be fine though, because it's still going to be able to buffer the enemy team to my Dragalge, because the Dragalge and the Lotad are 3 range units, while polywhirl is just 2. So other than backline attackers or rushers or whatever you want to call them, it's still going to be a buffer for Dragalge and the other team. And speaking of which, I'm not actually playing Dragalge on the very back line, I'm just doing it right behind my front line. So I'm not taking advantage of the 3 range that Dragalge has. And I wouldn't say that leads to our loss there, but we do take a loss against the fighting team, which I think that's they have a pretty decent matchup against water. I'm not sure about Aquatic. Aquatic doesn't really have anything specific that it beats or loses to fighting with, but I feel like for water, it's going to mitigate a lot of the cast that the team gets with its the ability to block out damage from from anything, I guess. Because most of the casts that my water team will be dealing out, they aren't going to be super powerful, so for the most part it's going to be damage that's blocked by a fighting team. And we're going to take a second loss in a row. A little concerning, but we're pretty close. We're actually not that close to Aquatic 8. We could switch into it, which is something that I am able to do actually, because I get the Dratini, which is actually pretty good. Thankfully I was able to drop the Horsey because I was actually going to be at water 6. And that's not good if I want to continue fishing for Gyarados. But the Dratini gets us to Aquatic 8, which is a huge buff, not only because of the better healing and other stats that come with Aquatic, but it has the Pikachu, and that's the best part of playing Aquatic, the surfing Pikachu. Plus we are now a single Ditto or Magikarp away from Gyarados, I don't take the Totodile. I think I was considering selling my Marini so that I could play another water aquatic unit over it and just lose our poison. Looking at these other teams, some decent teams. There's Cinemorphous, a team that's already at Monster 8. But looking at their board, they have a lot of 1-star units, so I feel like playing Monster 8 that early isn't very effective because you're going to be taking a lot of time out of attacking the enemy team and then having to go for your own allies because of Monster 8 with such weak units. Just gonna hold your teeny in the shop for now because I'm still trying to get that last Magikarp, which hopefully comes sooner than later, so we don't have to hold it in the shop for too long and we can go back to rolling for more units. Manaphy or Volcanion. I go for the Volcanion and actually do I? Yeah, I go with selling the Trigalgi, which was a good carry for a majority of the game, and I'm going to split those items onto our Sobble and Volcanion. And I'm left with a max revive. Putting the ability power onto Sobble and max revive onto a Magikarp, which for now, of course, is just going to be a Magikarp with a max revive. I think my idea was just that I wanted to be able to stall and then get more casts on Volcanion and Sobble. It's not going to pay off this round though. Actually it is. It's a lot of ability, 1700 damage coming out from that Volcanion, just a single round. If I get a beefier front line, having more casts on that is just going to be monumental. I do get the Skrelp again, so I could slot in Ultragalgi if I do get one, and then I'll be at Dragon 5, which is pretty big. Plus having the Gyarados, my front line is beefed up even more. I think looks like I'm going to be boxing it in. Not a bad idea. Sobble definitely wants to be able to have some isolation and play from the back. Getting a good early cast and taking out this ice team pretty easily. Even with the special defense where we have a lot of damage coming out through our casts. And a lot of normal damage, physical damage as well from Dracovish and Gyarados. Which is just going to go up once we get to Dragon 5. Not sure what item I want to take here. I think I'm going for the Shiny Charm to put on Gyarados and just try to get a stronger front line, but that doesn't work out, so I think it's a loaded dice for Gyarados and just try to take advantage of the physical damage Gyarados is dealing. And we fish up another Skrelp, so that's a Dragalgi that we can put right back into the team once we get to level 9. Which will get us to Dragon 5. And be a big buff to our front line. And we love the Gumi on the team as well, just sitting there, providing synergies and not doing much else. He's helping out a little bit. 8 damage. on the human team. It's going to be a close one here. Not too close. Gyarados is the last one left. And human, I didn't see what other synergies they had. It looks like they have a good amount of fire overlap. So being able to heal from the attacks they deal can really lead to like a runaway train in a sense, because having the fire synergy, they're just going to get stronger and stronger and then be able to heal from the damage they're dealing. They didn't have a lot of strong fire units on their team though. They did have the Hawlucha though, which is pretty strong, especially with that Shell Whale. It's going to be healing a bunch with its ability casts. And our backline was pretty safe during that, so they were able to carry us against this fighting team, it looks like. And we're able to get level 9 as soon as we want to, depending on how much we want to spend. But at least in the next 2 rounds, we'll be able to put Dragon 5 onto the team. And I think once we have that stronger front line, it's game over for the rest of the lobby. It's not going to be an unstoppable front line, but it's pretty good. Some interesting teams in this lobby though. 9 human. A bit overkill with the human synergies. Once you have 9, I mean, I think you could probably spread out and try and boost your side synergies so that you can take advantage of those more. Because human synergy only helps so much, but once you have fire, you know, the more you get out of that, the better. And then there's also a fossil team. Fossil's pretty solid. They have a pretty strong legendary in Regice, but I don't think that they have... That is a really interesting Pokemon to put a Fossil Stone on. Not necessarily a great unit to have the Fossil Stone on with the Florigato. No, that's a middle evolution. I don't remember what the final evolution is. I was thinking about putting the Frigibax in for the Gumi, but I can't do that because it drops to Aquatic 7, so I just roll past that. And I'm not sure what else I'm looking for. Maybe I could go for the Dragonite, or maybe the Sliggoo, I guess. But we win with that round actually, and pretty solid game, winning with 58 extra health over the rest of the lobby. Some interesting teams, Human, Amorphous, and Fossil being the 3 next best teams. Volcanion really carrying with the ability casts, but I think it's only able to carry because of that front line that we have. Wide Lens Regigigas on the 2nd place team is pretty interesting. Not a super strong lobby in my opinion though. Human is really only good if you're being able to take advantage of like a strong front line, which I don't think that team really did. But for the next game, as you can see, we're going to be playing ground. Definitely my favorite synergy. And Aquatic only taking us three games, and we reached a new peak on our ELO with that one. And I'll see you then.